Hello everyone, this is D-Vang. Welcome to episode 58 of the Outlaw Joseph Scott's, entitled Get Your Darkstone for Nothin'. And this episode is town again. Joseph is heading back to town after a successful Cynder mission, where we saw some strange new lands and new enemies, sort of. Trun hunters, anyway. So, let us get to town, see what happens this week. Alright everyone, here we are at town. Well, not quite a town. Obviously, as usual, Joseph, we need to do a few cleanup pieces for Joseph. We successfully completed the last mission in the caverns of Cynder. So we need to do the traveling, and we need to check for corruption. Now, Joseph has to roll 4 dice for corruption. He's got 2 Darkstone icons on each of his pistols. Those are the only things that have Darkstone icons, so he does not carry anything else around. So we will give a roll. So there are 2 potential corruption. So now he makes his willpower saves, and he saves both of them. So he has no corruption, which is excellent. Now Joseph needs to see if he has a travel hazard heading back to town. He does not. So, fairly uneventful so far. Of course, now that we said something, there probably will be a whole bunch of stuff in town, because that's kind of the way it works for Joseph. It's rarely a dull day, though he has had 1 or 2 in the 50-some episodes that we've done. Guess it would be 20-some town episodes. So, town. Pretty much going to be same old, I think. I always want to show you guys new stuff, and certainly once we get the new town expansion, things will get a little more interesting with different kinds of towns and different buildings that he can go to. But since we are still stuck with the original town, then Joseph just needs to kind of decide what he wants to do. Now, if you recall last town episode, so 2 episodes ago, Joseph robbed the bank. I went for just a couple Darkstone. Our goal is to build up enough to get 15 Darkstone, such that we can then purchase the Void Assembly, give him an extra big boost to damage. And I just severely mangled and forgot that Joseph has to spend a Darkstone for getting his Darkstone bullets each day, which means when I rolled just a single 1 Darkstone from the robbery, he didn't make any progress towards the 15 that he needs. Now, he currently has 5 Darkstone in his tomb chest. So we will see how many Darkstone he gets if he needs to purchase another tombstone, or a tombstone. Yes, another tombstone. Another tomb chest for carrying Darkstone. It's probably might not be a bad idea, but because I'd rather not get mutated, get some more horns, and not be able to wear his helmet, although he does have the tribal armor now. With that in mind, so the same old is going to be Frontier Outpost first. We want to rob it, we want to get a whole bunch of Darkstone. Blacksmith to get his Darkstone bullets and potentially get a tomb chest if he needs it. And he got completely wiped out of herbs and healing last episode. 1 he used, 2 got stolen from him, destroyed out of his side bag. So he needs to hit the doctor's office, I suppose the general store, to pick up some healing herbs. Doctor's office is better to get the anti-venom injection, just in case. It's more dangerous certainly in Jargano, but there are like void spiders and stuff that have poison. So getting that for 10 $10, that anti-venom injection is very useful. So, $10 for the hotel, day 1, to the Frontier Outpost. Let's see what happens at the Frontier Outpost. And 11, War Stories. Once during the next adventure, he can reroll a damage roll for one of your hits. Good, so that's good. Now let's rob the bank. Joseph has 6 dice to rob the bank. 2 grits. It's starting off well. We will spend a grit to reroll these 4. Wait, was that really a 5, or did that get knocked? Hold on. Alright, I went back and double checked. That was a 5. I did have 3 successes there. So my grid is re-rolling 3 dice, which gets me 2 more. 2 more successes, and no 1s. So excellent. So he really robs this bank. This bank was loaded for bear. So again, let's take a look. He's got 5. He needs 14 or 15. Which means he needs 10 Darkstone. At best, it's going to be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So I theoretically could get 15, which means I could buy it and would get me a... I would need to buy a tombstone. I'd be ready. I'd get the Void Assembly. Minimum would be 5. Obviously, 1 on each die. And 5 is 10, which is more than, obviously, 2 more than the tomb chest can carry. But not enough. 5 short. And you figure 5 is probably about average to get me what we need. So I'm actually going to spend all of them on Darkstone. I'm going to steal all of it's on Darkstone. So let us see what we get. See if we have enough, see if we need a tomb chest. See what we have. That was an absolutely horrible roll. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Really, I get 8. Out of all those dice, I get 8. That's probably like the worst roll for me to have in this kind of middle of the road amount of Darkstone. Because 8 is 1 full tomb chest, and then I still have 5 over. I'm 1 short, right? 8, yeah, 8 and 5, sorry, 2 short. I'm 2 Darkstone short. That was absolutely horrendous and pathetic. Apparently they did not have that much Darkstone in the bank. Well, I guess that tells us whether or not Joseph's buying a second tomb chest for next session. Boy, that was for having such a really good roll. Robbing the bank, he got, because as I said, that even a small amount might not have been too horrible. Although keep in mind, I do have to remember, I have to pay 1 for the Darkstone bullets. Still isn't going to matter very much. He'll still need to buy the tomb chest. Well, that is it for the Frontier Outpost. I mean, theoretically, I suppose I could sell the Darkstone and, all the extra, but I don't really need the money. Joseph has been getting some money from selling items, although he didn't get any items this time that he wants to sell, but he also has gotten money from the successful missions and hasn't really had to pay a lot. He's been breaking even. Speaking of which, is there a town event? there is a town event. See, I told you it was going to be interesting. Let's see what we get for the town event. A 9, Intense Dread. Each hero has to make a Cunning 6+ test. A dark cloud on the horizon makes your soul sink. As you see a void twister in the distance wipe through a neighboring town. So each hero makes a Cunning 6+ test. He's got 4 points of Cunning. He succeeds. Gains 10 experience. If he fails, you're going to take sanity damage, ignoring willpower. If no hero passes a growing dread card, we'd start with a growing dread card, but we don't, because Joseph did get a 6 and passed. So it is now day 2. Obviously, it's day since last event, so that has reset. Joseph also needs to roll his 8 dice to see if he's recognized. And he's only recognized once, so $50. $50 is not a big deal. So the second day, we are going to the blacksmith. And of course, at the blacksmith, we need the tomb chest and the Darkstone bullets. The event at the blacksmith is an 8. The banners, blacksmith, an 8 is no event. It's a pretty boring. At the blacksmith, Joseph will pay the 201 Darkstone for the Darkstone bullets, and he is going to pay the 600 for a second tomb chest. Then with that's all he wants to do. I suppose I could purchase a transport. Now, they are kind of expensive. Joseph wants to make sure he has enough money for the paying, obviously, for his getting his wanted, and he needs, the void assembly is 2,200. He's going to need to, he has enough for the first one. He wants to save up and make sure he has enough for the second one whenever that rolls around. He doesn't really need the extra experience for them, so things like the Spitfire might not be too bad, so that he can get an extra die on all skill tests while traveling. The Mustang for another grit, although he generally doesn't use both his grit in town. He hasn't had too many chances, although could have used it because there was that event. But I digress. That is the end of the day. Let's see if there's another town event. There is not. And then let's see if Joseph gets recognized again. Or how much he's recognized. For 100. Okay, 2. That's still not horrible considering. And day 3 to the doctor's office, where and we will move the day counter this time. And Joseph, let's see what happens at the doctor's office. Joseph wants his injection, his anti-venom, and then he wants to purchase some herbs. He gets a 10. Expert surgeon, attempts at surgery are +1. Joseph doesn't need any surgery, no injuries or mutations to get rid of. So, $10 for the anti-venom, and we're going to pick up 3 herbs again. So $250, $375 for the 3 healing herbs. And then we come back. And let us see if we have a town event. In the box would be good. We do not. Alright, so we had our event early. And let's see if Joseph is recognized. He's recognized 3 times. So he's getting more and more recognized. So that is another 150. I don't know that I need to spend that. I would need to make 150 if I go to the saloon. I would need to make 150 or more actually to gain by going to the saloon. And I don't think he needs to do that. Again, with the expanded town, there'd be a lot of other places to go, a lot of other things that Joseph might want to do. But I don't think there's anything else that he needs to do or wants to do here in town. So he's not going to pay the 150. He's just going to skip town, getting more and more recognized. He's going to head out to his next adventure, which would be the next mission from the Caverns of Cynder book. I haven't actually opened it and checked specifically what that is. It is another one specifically for the Caverns of Cynder, so we will be seeing more of the Caverns of Cynder coming up shortly. Thanks everybody for watching. I am going to put in a little teaser that I am working on a new series. Concept and trying to get some art put together, a little bit fancier and stuff. We'll see how much that goes with my limited time. And it's going to be something kind of short, or hopefully kind of short, that I'll be able to put as a second half for days like these, where we have town and there isn't a lot of town going on. It will at least initially star Joseph at his current state, wherever he may be, but it's going to be something separate. So than this Shadows of Brimstone, but it will kind of revolve around Joseph and the Shadows of Brimstone world or what have you. Anyway, just a little teaser there. Sometime. Probably in January in the new year, that'll get introduced, depending on how much stuff I get done. Anyway, thanks everybody for subscribing, for watching, and for those of you who comment. I appreciate all the interest. I will keep doing this as long as you are all interested. So, because I'm having fun, and we're going to keep going with Joseph for a little bit. Well, probably for a while, and then potentially maybe start another character, or not. Maybe once we get 1.5, I might start a new hero with some new abilities. We will see, but that's down the road. Joseph isn't going anywhere anytime soon. So again, thanks for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.